Hey y'all, welcome back. We are going to review how our year went. So I am starting right now with kindergarten. This was my first time teaching kindergarten. I mean, this is only my second year homeschooling. So, yes, it's my first time with kindergarten. And I was really intimidated with kindergarten because I've taught my kids preschool. We've always done preschool at home. And so I've taught them like all the letter sounds. I've taught them how to count to 20. But I've never taught a kid how to read on my own. I've helped them. I've gone into their classrooms. I've seen how their teachers did it, but I was really intimidated at the thought of doing it myself. But I'm happy to report that this year went really well. My kindergartner is reading very well. I haven't tested him yet to see what level he's at, but I would say he's at a first grade level where he should be, at least, if not possibly a little beyond. And I owe it all to the curriculum, not to anything that I figured out on my own. And I don't know, maybe he's like a really smart kid, but I don't know. Anyways, so I didn't have any curriculum that didn't work. All of it worked. All of it was great. Not all of it is necessarily going to carry through to next year. But let me just share with you what we used that worked. So starting in preschool, starting last January, we very slowly, just a couple times a week, started going through the Good and the Beautiful's Math K program. And this was a fantastic program. This was really great. It was super gentle. It was fun. It had lots of hands-on manipulatives. I can't say that. Manipulatives. It had a lot of games. Very interactive. So we loved this. So we did it very slowly for that beginning part of, or that ending of preschool, a little bit over the summer, maybe like once a week, just to, keep him moving forward. We hit it hard come the beginning of kindergarten year, and we finished it just after Christmas. And it went really well. He did great with everything in it. So you can see it's just very colorful and fun. I didn't bring all the little manipulatives up, but there's all sorts of stories that kind of continue on throughout that he really enjoyed. But I did notice towards the end he started getting a little like, can we just get to the math portion? Like he wanted to move past kind of the fluff stuff. But I kept going with it because the story kind of really just hammered home some of the aspects, and we were almost done, so we just finished up. The manipulatives were great. There was a lot. This is the older, so this is not the new. If you go on the Good and Beautiful now, they have one called Simply Good and Beautiful Math. This is not that. This is their older version, and it has a lot of manipulatives, and I loved having all of those. I thought they were great, and we are actually currently using them. So once we finish this, I think in January, we switched from the Good and the Beautiful to Saxon. I knew all along I eventually wanted to move into Saxon. That's what I do with my older boys, and it's just a very sound curriculum. So I knew eventually we would move in. And then I just happened over the course of this last year to find all the parts for this. So I found the book and I found the workbooks for really cheap at some consignment sales. So I already had these on hand, so we jumped in. We've skipped a lot at the beginning because it was review. So we are currently on lesson 49. So we will not finish this year, and I'm fine with that. But he's doing great with it. I've been very pleasantly surprised. As you can see, Saxon is black and white. There are no fancy frills and pictures the way there were with Math K. And I was a little worried that he would be bored with it. But there's actually quite a bit of games that we're playing in here. he loves when it tells him, you know, go get 5 stuffed animals, and we do some sort of little game with his stuff instead of, you know, just some blocks. We don't use the linking blocks. I just use blocks I had from The Good and the Beautiful. We just use what we have around the house. So you could go out and buy some really expensive, you know, kit to go with this, but I'm finding that I just use the stuff we have around the house and it works great. And he's doing really well with this. The morning meeting stuff is a little redundant, so we do not do it all the time. Because he's pretty strong with it. So we review it maybe once a week. Or if I see something on there that I feel like, yeah, we need to review this concept, we'll do it really quick. But Saxon is just really solid, and it's what we use. And I had considered keeping him in The Good and the Beautiful until 2nd grade, until I got to Math 2. But then I found this and decided, what the heck, let's just make the transition now. So that's math. It was good. Okay, for language arts, reading, my big worry. In preschool, we started using the reading lesson. Obviously, this is a well-loved book. This was such a great program. I kind of started using it just to kind of bridge from, you know, letters into reading, figuring I would need to find a real curriculum. My mom had randomly found this at a consignment sale and gave it to me. You know, it says teach your child to read in 20 easy lessons, so I kind of scoffed at it. I thought there was no way this would actually work. I'd never heard of it before. I've now heard of it. A lot of people use it, but I hadn't at the time. And it is so good. By the end, he was reading at a very good level. This is it has little games, sort of, where, let's see if I can find an example, where he matches. But that's really the only interactive type thing. Most of it is just, reading. So it teaches you, it teaches them word families, it teaches them the sounds, and then it's just little stories. Each page is a story. So we would just we started out with doing 2 pages a day and slowly worked up. By the end, we were doing about 6 pages a day. So we were able to fly through. And so we finished this again just right around Christmas time. And from there, we moved into The Good and the Beautiful, which is what I use for my older boys. I enjoy it. And so we moved into their level K. I was really nervous about the level K because I had heard so many people talk about how this is super advanced, it moves too fast, which is part of the reason I stuck with the reading lesson through the end. And this has been great. We will finish this. We are on we just finished lesson 100, so we've got about 20 lessons to go. We're almost done. He's done great because his reading level is above where this starts. He has been able to do all the reading. He read through the reader super fast. All the reading is super easy. It's just reinforcing everything he knows. He has flown through the sight words for this and finished the sight words for 1st grade, all due to the reading lesson. So he's done great. We've been able to really focus in on kind of the grammar aspect because this introduces very simply nouns, verbs, capitalization, and punctuation, and a little tiny bit of spelling. So that's been what he's been able to focus on because he already knew how to read. So this was really good, and now we're ready to move to level 1 next year. Okay, so some other things that he has done. He did The Good and the Beautiful's handwriting, level K, and he really enjoyed this. This was one of his favorite things to do. I think he will like even more the level 1 because there's a little more art, like drawing projects, which is what he liked. But this was really good. His handwriting is already probably as good as his brothers who went through public school. So we liked that. We started the year out with the Go for the Code series. So this is just C. We did A, B, and C. He also really enjoyed these. and kind of flew through them because he would do like 10 pages at a time. It was super easy for him. We started the program in preschool, and then he finished it in kindergarten, and it was super, super easy for him. But it was really good reinforcement. And then he's now working on the Explode the Code 1. He doesn't love this one quite as much because it's not quite as easy. He has to do a little more work. But again, it's reinforcing everything he's learning in The Good and the Beautiful. It's working great alongside it. He still likes it enough, and he will finish this year. So this has been really good. One thing I had him do from the dollar store, I picked up this Morning Starters book, which again, he did this once a week, and he would just do a couple pages. It goes through the letters of the alphabet again, but really I liked it because it does go through some sight words, and he has to put them in the blanks, and then a tiny bit of math, which the math was really, I say math, but some of it was math, some of it was more sequencing, and it was really on par with what he's done. So the goal will be to finish this over the summer because we do have the first grade one to do for next year. So his brothers and him have been working on United States geography. He's enjoyed doing that alongside them. We just have been using, so his brother with his level 5, The Good and the Beautiful, got geography cards. And in them, this is stuff that his brothers already knew. So this was what he used. So he learned the continents, and then he learned the oceans. And we just used these little flashcards really quick. It only took him a couple of weeks to learn them. Now they're all beat up because his toddler sister says that these are hers. But this was good. I counted it as geography. And then the last things that we did for him, his brothers did science and history together. For him, I didn't need him to come in and do that. It's a little over his head. So on Fridays, we would do the 180 days of science and social studies for kindergarten. These are super simple. They are just black and white. It's almost silly how simple they are, but it just reminded me what level I needed to be talking to him at. So we did every Friday, we would do 1 or 2 weeks worth because they're set up so that like you just do a page a day, but a page would literally take us about 5 seconds. So we would do a week or 2 every Friday. We would just sit down and go through that subject matter together. He enjoyed the one-on-one time. So we will finish what I want to finish from social studies this year. Some of it was a little, some of it we're skipping because it applies more to like if you're in school, like school rules you follow in the classroom and whatnot, which we don't really have. So some of it we are skipping, some of it we're skipping because I know it's stuff he already knows, so we don't really need to. And then with this, we got through 2/3 of it. We will not finish the physical science. We will probably go over that this summer because he is going to be doing some physical science stuff with his brother next year for fun. And so this will segue great into it. So overall, we definitely had some wins. It was all wins for kindergarten. I can't think of anything we used that I didn't love. The only things that are not going to be carried over into next year will be The Good and the Beautiful math, and that's only because we've moved on to Saxon. And again, mostly only because I found the curriculum super cheap at a consignment sale. While we were always going to go to Saxon, I definitely considered using The Good and the Beautiful Level 1 for this year because I think it's a great program, especially for younger kids. So, curriculum for kindergarten was a definite yes this year, and it was a great year, and it was a learning year. I had to learn how much he could do before he needed a break and what time of day worked best to work with him, but overall this year went really well, and I'm really glad I got to have him home with me this year, and I'm excited that I get to keep him home with me a little bit longer. So stay tuned for other curriculum reviews.